G'day guys, welcome back. So we're playing with the VL again. Just going to do a bit of an update video. So I've kind of been ticking along with this one in the background. The build's kind of changed significantly since last. But anyway, so the RB is gone and we've now gone with the LS1. So it's the XVY LS1 and T56. So it is a manual. It's got the rod shop mounts, starter swap. It's these are the CAE 4-in-1s that were on the Ute originally, with the twin 3-inch system. So that'll all go on this one. So definitely trying to keep costs down on this one. So what else have we done? So the motor and box is all sitting in there. Everything's sort of sat in. There was a few clearance issues like there always is with these. More so the tunnel with the 6-speed, but you know, nothing a bit of a tap doesn't fix. So so it's all in there, all landed, everything fits fine. Did have to modify one engine mount, but that was just a matter of cutting it and moving it and re-welding it, but it's all good, it's all done. So that's all in there. So just kind of going through marking everything that's going to go. So so the original plan for this car was basically just put the RB in it and redo the engine bay, and just basically make a nice sort of street car with it. So the build now is more of a sort of drag and drive, but a true street car. Yeah, so we changed to the LS just because we sort of want around the 400 horsepower mark with a manual. So we really wanted to do a manual in this car for the stick shift class, where the RB just, 400 horsepower, they make it, that's fine. Cylinder heads are getting hard to find for RB30s. Then the gearboxes aren't really the strongest, especially when you're trying to launch with them and whatnot. But so for multiple reasons, we just stuck an LS in it. I'm an LS guy. I know what I'm doing with them. I'd rather just stick to what I know. But anyway, so that's what I've done. It's in there now, so that's what's staying in there. So it's an LS 6-speed. It's got a cam in it. It's a stocker. It's rebuilt, just a complete stocker. It's just got a 232, 234 and a 110 cam in it for now. Made 385 or so at the tyres. It's got a half decent clutch. That's about it. So because of this, I've since mini tubbed it. So we'll have a bit of a look. So these are the new wheels we got for it. So these are a Street Pro. Normally I can't stand Street Pros, but these are the polished version, and I really like them. 17 by 4.5 inch front and 15 by 10 inch rear with a 4.5 inch backspace and a 275. So it's currently got a 275, just a Nankang street tyre, but it is cut to fit a radial, so it'll actually fit a Pro. So this is what I've done in the boot. So the boot actually had a bit of a rust issue, so the floor's been cut out. I've replaced that already. The spare wheel well was gone, so that's been replaced with a flat plate. And then we've mini tubbed it. So, there we go. So all the inside's been done with the anti-chip coating. So the diff's currently not in it. Wheels are just sitting there for nothing more than wank factor. But the diff's off getting built now. So we've got a bogie, of course. It's got a diff hat, 31 spline, 411 gears, true track, all the usual jazz, billet axles and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm going to lift it up on the hoist and I'll show you the tub work and we'll keep going. Okay, so while the diff's off being built, it's probably a good opportunity to have a bit of a look-see under the rear on what I've done here. So this here is what you call tub to the rail. So obviously that there being your rail. For legal purposes, this is the way to go. You can do notch rails and all that. I don't really know the legalities on that. I think it needs to be engineered and whatnot, but I know up here in Queensland they kind of frown upon it. So anyway, so here we are, tub to the rail. I use a McDonald Brothers kit, which includes the tubs, the coilover battery, everything really. These are white line adjustable arms that I'm using in this one. I already had the lower arm kit, so I just bought a coilover kit. Anyway, so yep, it's all sprayed in anti-chip coating. It's a product by Bisa that I use, and it looks pretty neat. It cleans everything up. All the wheel wells being glued in, I stitch weld them and then I glue them in. I don't fully weld them unless it's for a burnout car, but for street cars or like a race car or that sort of thing, I stitch and then Sikaflex. If it's a burnout car, we weld just there's no need to fully weld them. The tubs warp and move around. It's just, yeah, no point. Anyway, so all underneath's been anti-chip coated, well, the rear side anyway. Here's our Viking dual adjustable shocks. We run so here's our shock bar, which is a chromoly tube with fish plates welded into the body. This is how I do all of them. It just adds strength and rigidity. And yeah, anyway, so there it all is. This car did get a boot floor. The boot floor was completely gone in it, probably the worst one I've ever seen. But it's all been replaced. I put a rare spares part in it. This would be our spare wheel well delete, which is basically a 2mm piece of flat sheet that I've cut to fit. When you do the spare wheel well delete, you need to put in a panel here because this here is open. It's inside the boot floor. So that there's just a 3mm plate, plug welded through. And yeah, all coated, and obviously our panhard rod mount, which gets moved because they normally kick out here into the bloody wheel well. But anyway, that's what we got. So same again, obviously, to the rail. But yeah. All right, so we'll head to the front now we've covered that, and we'll see what we're doing there. Righto, so back around the front again. So motor box all sitting in, everything's sort of mocked in place, it's all good. So now we can go through and work out what we're going to get rid of and whatnot. So battery's going to go, battery tray. So I started marking a few of these little holes out. Not going to go too crazy given the car's purpose. Like I really would like to put aircon and whatnot back on this one, so the heater, all that shit's going to work. So when it comes to smoothing out, we're probably going to focus mainly on the towers forward on both sides. So I plan to put a OTR on it and tilt the radiator. So that's going to be cool because I really like that look. It just looks really clean. Obviously the bale gets sprayed yellow, but it should be basically just these two front corners all smoothed off. The back will still be tidy. It's going to be cleaned up, painted in the yellow and whatnot, but we're not really going to focus a lot of time on shaving the engine bay parts. You know, we're not moving the fuses or any of that shit. We're keeping everything in place, keeping the booster. So what we do have for this one, just turned up today, was our rod shop hub adapters. So hub adapters and the lines and bearing kit. So moving over this way. So in my little collection of bits and pieces, we have VYSS calipers and discs, but we'll probably just buy a set of slotted discs. And there's our rear disc brake conversion. So we're going to put rear disc brakes on it as well. So I also have the VYSS brake master cylinder, and I've got a VS booster, which apparently is the combination you need to make it all work. So we've got all the bits and pieces to do that, but we'll go over the brakes in another video. So what we're going to do now is we'll probably yank the motor and trans and pipes out again, and we will go through and start filling or welding up some of these holes, and probably might even cut these and tap them in and smooth these out. I haven't really done that before on builds, but I might do that on this one just because. All right, so I'll get this motor ripped out, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we're going to do. All right. And of course, once you remove the battery tray, you're almost always going to find rust underneath. So this car was no exception. Just cut it out and transferred it to a piece of 1.2 sheet, and then tacked that in and crisscrossed it when we welded it. So keep the heat out of it and smooth it up, and it's all done. So other side had this round, not sure what it is, but it's just like a round drain hole or something. Anyway, so made a piece for that, did the same thing, tack, welded in, smooth it off. Okay, so moving on, the lower radiator support panel in this car was slightly damaged. So I ended up just removing it and building this tube one. Turned out quite neat, I think. Okay, so gone through, got all these patches welded in, so this is what it looks like now. That was the rust section. This one here was just that circle bit, a couple of little things welded up. That was one of the bumps, another two here. Basically cut them with a T, tap them in, run the grinder through it a couple of times, then re-weld them up. Take majority of it out, we are going to fill it. So anyway, so that's all done. Done a few holes, didn't go crazy because, you know, it is a street car. We're not trying to go full top 10 choker. Anyway, so the engine bay was done with a black rattle can, and luckily for us, they didn't sand back at all. So what we did was grab some thinners on a rag, and we've taken pretty much all of it off. So what we'll do now, just going to go through and sort of scuff around the paint. just to give it something to bite. I'm going to seal up these areas that we're going to do the filler work on. And yeah, should have it in paint by the weekend. So we are trying to hustle to get to the road trip. So we have actually entered the stick shift class, stick shift NA. So it should be a lot of fun. Anyway, so now we've got a deadline, we've got to hustle. All right, I'll keep going. Fuck, it smells so good.
If you say so.
How do you not enjoy doing this?
No. It's alright until you sand it and your eyes start fucking stinging.
And you walk around like you're stoned all the time? The bay's all been sealed now. Okay, so we've just given it the last coat. It's all turned out pretty damn neat. So next up will be painting the engine, the diff, the fuel tank, the radiator and the OTR. So they're all going to be black. So we'll get them done and we'll start reassembly. But that'll be on the next video. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.